Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Creme de la Cringe. How you
Hi
doing,
guys.
Tristan?
I'm exhausted. How are you?
It's been a week already, and it's only Tuesday when we record. So
I know.
yeah,
I was just thinking that, like, holy cow, it's already only Tuesday.
yeah, and yeah. Anywho, um, we have a really long case, and Trista, this is a family connection with you, and
Yeah.
she was saying that this case is so long, we're going to have to break it up probably into part one and part two, guys, because it is very, very long and in depth. So we can do that, no problem. I'm sure you guys will hang in there and come back for part two. So why don't we get going?
Perfect. So, yes, as you said, this is a family connection for me. It is actually one of the convicted people in this is actually my daughter's great uncle, um, which is crazy. When I first got told about this story, I was with her grandma, and I think we were either no, we hadn't made it to Tulare yet. But we were talking about going to Tulare, California. So this happened in Tulare County. And she tells me that she's got a brother on death row. And I was
That
like,
is
wait,
so
what?
crazy. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I don't know if I was pregnant with little one yet, my baby, or had already had her. I mean, I know I was pregnant, but I don't know if I had her or if it was like right before I was getting ready to have her that she tells me that, okay, guess what? My brother's on death row in San Quentin. I think it's San Quentin down there, isn't it? Which now
Sam,
it's not. So he's actually been moved. So they pretty much so have shut down San Quentin.
they have? I
Um,
didn't know that. When did that happen?
so what they have done is they took a lot of them that were on death row and put them in a different facility that gives them the opportunity to be integrated into general population.
Is that like
And
Pelican
like
Bay?
I have to look again to see where he's at because I
Because
can't remember exactly where Steven's at. Let me actually pull that up real quick.
yeah, it's really
Um,
interesting because I know that
how
Pelican
the-
Bay is the supermax. Like it is the worst of the worst. I don't know how many supermax facilities we have out there, but Pelican Bay is one of the worst.
I was gonna say, like, you would know because you're from California. You're like literally
I
the
had
only
no
person
idea they were closing down San Quentin.
so I think it was something with when what's his butt got in there now.
uh, yeah, the
Yeah.
illustrious
So
governor. Yeah. Okay.
yes. So he decided that they were done doing what am I thinking? Executions.
Oh, the death penalty cases.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep,
that's
they were
right.
done doing it. Yep. And so their goal was to put these people in different prisons to give them a chance to like take classes or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but they're on death row.
Why?
Like,
Why? Why,
and
Tracy? I'm
especially
sorry.
this case. Especially this case. So he is actually currently being housed in the High Desert State Prison in Fresno,
Fresno.
or
So he's
no,
basically.
Susanville.
Oh, is he in Susan? Okay, Susanville. So that's up north of Tahoe, up in
Yes.
Susanville.
And they get to do, career technical
Yeah,
education. So,
BS. I'm sorry. If you kill someone, you should no,
yeah.
no.
I'm
A
like, and
cop, four square walls, and that's it. Like,
I don't understand where these people who have been convicted and are on death row for really, really horrible crimes, especially
yeah, and
this one,
especially this case. Yeah.
and you're just going to reintegrate them back into a situation that they shouldn't be. Now, I mean, just so everyone out there knows that my daughter's grandmother did tell me that the day that she realized he was guilty was the last time she ever spoke to him.
Wow. Well, good.
And
Yeah, I get
I
it.
mean, and we actually lost her back in 22, I
I was gonna
think.
say it wasn't
Actually,
that long ago, huh? Yeah.
no, it was actually to an OD, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'd actually mentioned something about him, like, hey, did anyone reach out? And everyone was like, nope, not our business. We don't, he's not family. Because I think he is actually the only one living now in the out of the siblings.
Okay.
Because her sister had passed, oh man, years ago, because I was still with Star's dad. I think in 2012 is when 2012 or
Uh,
2013 her
hold
sister
on.
passed.
Hold on. I need to mark that. You mentioned her name. I can edit that out. Okay, go ahead.
I forget. Yeah, her sister passed, and then there was her, and so this gentleman's name, not really a gentleman, the convicted person was Stephen Allen Brown.
Okay.
Um, he was convicted back in, well, so he appealed everything back in 2014, but yeah.
When did
I'm
this
like, how do
happen?
you? So this happened the weekend of December 2nd to the 4th, 1988,
Okay.
in
Okay.
Tulare, California. California. Lordy.
That's
That
down
tells
by
you guys how
Fresno.
exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So as it goes, am I allowed to say her name?
Yeah. I mean, this is all
Okay.
public record now.
Yes. So the little girl, she was 11 years old. Her name was April Holly. Um, yeah, it's like a really sad and disturbing story. And you guys, I had to like cut so much down on what to talk about because of everything. I'm gonna try to say the charges without it being so. He was charged with first degree murder, sodomy, and forcible lewd act with a minor under the age of 14.
Poor
Yeah.
child.
So it was that weekend. And it's really messed up, Colleen. Like, it's really even hard to like go through all this and to know that it's like a connected, like genetically connected to my daughter. That is
Right.
the hardest part in
Right.
this,
Yeah.
is I'm
I
like,
can imagine. Yeah.
yeah. So it was the weekend of December 2nd so that Friday, she had left and went to a family friend's house because her mom had stuff going on that weekend, and it was a really bad foggy week. It was cold and foggy. And so she went to some family friend's house and stayed there. Well, the next day, her mom had decided to go to a Tupperware party and didn't drive back that night due to the weather. April had wanted to go home. Something happened. There was a fight or something at the family friend's house that they took April home, but then realized nobody was there. So then they took April back to their house. But then they all went out, to the bar. It's back in the late 80s. And they went back to the house, and somehow or another, April had convinced them that her mom said it was okay for her to go home, that she had got a hold of her mom and someone had took her home. She had not talked to her mother. And they lived on what they called Metheny Tract. They called it the track. The track. It was a trailer court. Um, the trailer's front door was generally secured by a padlock. And then the back door was the one that was generally unlocked, so that if someone wanted to get in, they could. Um, so at that point on Saturday, she went home, and I got to go through my notes, you guys, because it seriously is so much to all this, and it's amazing what we can find online.
Wait a minute,
Because
Trista. Do you want to do this case another time, and we can do a shorter case that I have?
we can, if you want, because there is a lot to break down. Like,
That way you
because
can break it down and get it or more organized.
it tells you like time frame, how she was found, like the full in depth of the case, to where it is a lot.
Okay, well, if you want to, let's do that. Let
Yeah,
me pull up another case. I'll give you some more time to get more organized with this.
yeah,
It's
because I mean, and it's hard because it jumps around so much and just everything with it. It's just,
what I find helpful is I use Google Drive for everything.
so
And
I'm realizing MacBooks suck for that
mhm,
kind of stuff, because I have my MacBook because I don't have a webcam yet. And that's like going to be one of my next purchases for my office is to get a webcam for my PC. So I have my MacBook, but you can't download Google anything on it
Oh.
because it's Apple.
Well, yeah, but you can still use Google Drive, right? I don't
No,
download it.
no, like I can't get on Google Chrome or anything on my MacBook.
Well, do you have a document program in your?
I don't know. I got to like divulge into, I don't really know much about. This is
Well,
why I really
what I
want
do is
one
I
for my
copy and paste
PC.
from all of the articles, different bits, and then I organize it all.
See, and that's would make it so much easier for me. I just have to figure out either how to do it on my MacBook or just do it on my PC, which I'll probably just start doing it on my PC. My next purchase is going to be a webcam.
Okay, let's see.
You're going to cut all this out, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, don't worry about
So
it.
she was found in the bathtub,
Jesus Christ.
completely bound.
Well, you can talk. You can say that.
So I can say that there's a part in here it talks about how her anus was dilated and irregular with
You cannot say
lacerations
that.
reflect. That's kind of what I thought. Yeah,
If you want
it's
to, once you get it all organized, if you put it into a document and send it to me, or type it in an email, like your whole thing, and type in an email, I can look at
okay.
it and
And
kind
then
of redo
that
it.
will actually give me time too to pull up the other guy too, where
Okay.
there's a co-conspirator in it.
Okay. Okay. Here's a case. This one is how many pages? This is pretty short. Short and
Okay.
sweet. I think this is 4 pages, which is fine. Okay, so let me mark this. We're going to start over like we're just logging in. So, hi everybody, this is Colleen and I'm here with Trista. Welcome to Creme de la Cringe.
Hi
And
everyone. How was your holidays?
I tell you, I'm glad it's over though. I mean,
Me too.
I know it's a lot.
I'm so glad it's over.
I'm I don't even
It's
have any real family, like blood family anymore, but I have a huge family,
I'm
and
like, you have a huge family.
and I've accumulated all of you, and I love you all very much. I'm tired. I can't
These
imagine how
last
y'all feel who have like kids and everything else. I just have fur animals. I have to tell you though that so I put out the word at work and I told everybody if you bring in your Christmas trees, I can bring them home for the goats to eat. And I
yeah.
brought home the big tree from the lobby today, and they're just so happy. If there's no tinsel and they haven't been sprayed with anything, man,
Then yeah.
yeah, they're chowing down on that tree right as we speak. Uh-oh. I got to
Sorry,
start
don't
over.
mind my yeah. I know, and I just told her I'm like, get out.
Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, this is Colleen, and I'm here with Trista. Welcome to another episode of Creme de la Cringe.
Hey guys, how was everyone's holidays?
I'm
Me and
glad
Colleen
they're
were
over.
just talking about how we're excited they are over. It has
Okay,
been such a draining last couple weeks.
it has been. I'm tired, you're tired, everybody's tired. Everybody at work looked pretty worn out, too. Like, let's just get
Well,
on
and
with
then I get the, joy that I got a kid's birthday on New Year's.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's right.
I've got Christmas and then we've got birthday on New Year's. So 1 week away. And then exactly 1 week from that is my youngest's birthday.
That's right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, oh, yeah. I need to talk to you about that. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll figure out something. All right, so I have a case for you, and just so you know, I'm not presenting every week, but Trista's working on a really big case, and it's going to take some time. Her case may actually take 2 episodes, if not 3, because it's so lengthy. So I'm giving her some extra time to work on it. So this case deals with England's most notorious at the time serial killer. And I hadn't heard about this one. This was back in 1873.
So in England, is that kind of where Jack the Ripper or the Reaper?
Jack the Ripper was from England, yes. There's different
Okay.
cases back there. So this is March 14th, 1873. England's most notorious serial killer was hanged. Reporters and the public started arriving at the gates of the Durham jail at 7 a.m. to line up and watch. Okay. I don't know. Would you go watch? I guess if I was family.
I guess it depends on the scenario, like the situation, how bad everything was.
Right.
Then I think if it was like involving children and all that, yeah, I'd be front
Yeah.
row.
So when I went up to, if you're from this area, then Idaho, Montana, you know that the Montana State Prison is, you can go through it now. It's very, very haunted. You can go through it. You can take all
Really?
your ghost hunting stuff. Yeah, the one up in Deer Lodge. Well,
Hmm.
one of the overnight ghost hunts that I've done, they brought in the old hanging, the traveling hanging news. They would just move it around the state behind a cart. It had wheels. Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
huge. You would think, okay, just a noose. No, this thing was huge. I want to say 18 feet tall. Then had big wheels because they would use horses moving around. Yeah,
Just
it
like,
was something.
take it around and just,
Yep, they'd go
you
from town
know,
to town, and Idaho had one too. And we would hang people right in front of the Portneuf Valley Brewery on First Street in Idaho. That
that's
was where they would
right.
put. So, just so you know, this stuff did happen, and it happened up until not too long ago in some places. Um,
Yeah, I kind of wonder why it stopped.
Probably because they felt like it was inhumane. Like you got to kill them nicer. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So this is a spectacle. And the public had wanted to see this happen from the date of the arrest. This person was hated. Okay. Her name, yes, her, was
Wait,
Miss,
what?
yeah, her name was Miss Mary Ann Cotton, and she was the first female to be executed in Durham, England, since 1799. So uh, it was just shy of 100 years. So
That's crazy.
80 years. Mary was allowed to visit with her relatives for about 45 minutes when the prisoners, while the prison guards looked for a stronger rope because they had put one up on the noose and they were testing it and it snapped. And they're like, hold on, we need a better rope. So, yeah. So she was awoken at 3:30 a.m. And given a cup of tea at 5:30 a.m. She refused breakfast. She couldn't eat. 3 Methodist ministers stayed with her and prayed, but she kept insisting she was innocent. She said the killings may have been an accident. She was born in 1832, and she was the daughter of Michael and Mary Robson. She lived in a house near this, I love the name of this, Hazard Pit, East
That's
Rainton.
actually,
So, yeah, I don't know how they do it in England. So, Hazard Pit sounds like the town. East Rainton, maybe like the county. I don't know. It was a village on the highway. Yeah, so it was
I don't know
called
how they
Hazard
do it over
Pit,
there.
a village on highway between Durham and Sunderland. She was 14 years old when her father fell ill. No, I'm sorry. He fell into a mine shaft. Yeah,
Oh,
and he died. So that sucks.
yeah.
Um, I don't know why I said he fell ill. I was thinking about something else. Mary was exemplary in school. She was like a straight A attendance. She was a regular attender of Sunday school. She had average intelligence. She was said to be innocent and kind and sweet. She was just a wonderful girl.
That's how it always starts.
Yeah. The sassy ones aren't the ones committing murder. They're just mouthy.
Yeah.
It's always the nice, quiet girl.
But you
So,
would never think would do something
never
like that.
suspect. She married Willow Mowbray on June 24th, 1860, and one of her children died. And then she had 3 more that all died. one after another. And that's probably enough besides undiagnosed postpartum to send you bonkers, right? No one seems suspicion because the children died from a variety of factors at this time period. You had smallpox. I don't know. I think smallpox was still around him, but you had various flus. You didn't have very good health care. You're in a village. You know, it's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Then she lost a husband, her husband, and Willow. And so she moved to Seaham Harbor, where she rented a small house in a basement in Lord Seaham Inn. Sounds cool, an old inn. And then she moved there with the one living child. And shortly after she moved there, this child's gone. Like, Then she was employed as a nurse in the fever ward of Sunderland Infirmary. That sounds awful.
Mm-hmm.
Anything called infirmary, you know?
It just doesn't say,
yeah. This does a bad name. She met a man named Ward. They were married, and then he died October 6, 1866. In 1867, she married a man named Joseph Robinson, not Robson, which was her parents, you know, her maiden name. So
yeah.
Robinson, a mechanic. He was a widower who had 5 children. Mary left Joseph in 1889, but by that time, 4 of his 5 kids have died in what the doctor called gastric fever. Okay. Which, when I looked that up, it was a very common term for kind of like they didn't know. They used gastric fever a lot. So she became employed as a housekeeper at Dr. Hefferman's house called Spinnymore. I love it that the British, like, they name their homes. My grandpa named his home, but it was called Termite Towers. Spinnymore's got a little bit nicer ring.
It really does. Most of my family is from England.
Yeah. Maybe you need to name your place. So
right?
in 1870, she became employed, as I said, and then she married Frederick Cotton. She and her husband moved then to West Auckland. 3 months later, he became ill and died on September 1871. In the following March, her eldest stepson, Frederick Cotton II, died, and 3 weeks later, her own son, Robert Cotton, 10 years old, died. A lodger at the house named Nattrass was ill in bed at the time of the deaths, and he told a friend who visited him he wanted out of that house, but he never made it out. He died less than a week later. Yeah.
Wait, how many deaths are we
I know.
Like,
I
was
trying to come up with a count. I'll come up with a count later on. A few days before her son Robert died, she was visited by a Mr. Riley. He asked about hiring her to attend to a smallpox patient who was his own son. And he was on the upswing, though. He had gotten through most of it, and he was mending, but he needed a little extra help while he was at work. And so she decided to take the child into her home, and she told Mr. Riley, this child, at that point, Robert was still alive, her boy, and she said, this child, pointing to her own healthy son, Robert, is in my way. And then she said, of course, he will never be able to get up. He'll go out like the rest of the Cotton family. So he's telling her this. And then Robert dies. And then he's like, oh, by the way, can you take care of my son? Like, nobody's putting all of this together. And she's saying, like, this kid's in my way. I don't want,
Like, I'm like, this is a black cloud of, like, the plague of a woman.
And then Mr. Riley, when she made a comment about his son being so ill, he said, oh, nonsense. He's fine. He's a healthy little fellow. A few days later, his son is dead. So he's astonished because his son had been improving. Like I said, he was on the upswing, and he openly stated his belief that his son had been murdered. And he went to another doctor named Dr. Kilburn and convinced him to get involved. And Dr. Kilburn decided to examine his son's body before burial because he's suspecting arsenic. He's like, wait a minute, how many people? Because she's moved a lot and nobody's connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they rush over. He does a test. He said they took some of the stomach and the intestines back to his doctor's office from this guy's son, which is awful to think about, but what else are you going to do? And he did some testing and it came up as arsenic. And I know that arsenic will stain certain chemicals. Like if you use a chemical reagent on arsenic, it'll stain it. So that's what they were able to do and figure out that arsenic was present in this son's body and it shouldn't have been there. So they rush over to this man named Bishop Auckland, and they inform him and superintendent of the police force, his name was Henderson, of the discovery. And the following morning, they went to Mrs. Cotton's house and arrested her for the poisoning of this man's son and her stepson, Charles Cotton. Okay. I don't know that they put it together about Robert yet, the other son, the real son, not the stepson. Mrs. Cotton had come into money from British Prudential Insurance when Mr. Cotton died. It was also found out during the investigation she had insured every single one of the children, even her stepchildren, and every death she was getting a little bit of money. It wasn't an outrageous sum, but it was a little bit of money. Several,
it wasn't enough to flag something was up, but
yep. And she was living on that money and she was moving on that money. And so here's where I come up with a recap. In 1860, one child died. In 1864, another child died. In 1865, two more died. In 1866, another two. In 1867, 5 people were dead. 1871, 1 person. 1872, 4. That makes 16 deaths, all in her family, then the boarder, and the other man's son. So the newspapers say that there was more than 20 people. They suspect her in more. So
but that's the only ones that they can really tie her to.
Yeah. So they did exhume Charles Cotton's body, Natras the boarder, his body, and 2 more of the children, and they all, the intestines were examined by this man named Dr. Scattergood, which is an awful name for that.
I mean, his other doctor's name was Kilborn.
Okay. So, he was an eminent toxicologist and he lectured on forensic medicine in Leeds, England. So he was very renowned in his field. He found really high levels of arsenic in all the bodies, obviously. At the time of her arrest, she was pregnant again. So the trial was postponed until the spring because they wanted her to have the baby. Okay. Her trial took only 3 days and she was sentenced, obviously, to death. She was found guilty at that point of killing upward of 25 people, but they still think there's more. They haven't been able to tie her to a lot more, but they believe there was a lot more.
That's insane.
Isn't it? Because, well, okay, so women typically go to poison. I mean, women serial killers tend to use poisons. Yeah. And they're the ones cooking usually, so they're the ones that, can slip it in the food. Like how many people are killed by women with antifreeze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense though, because I mean, for a man to do it, the stature of a man is so much different than us. To where they can go in and do the really grotesque and just brutal things. Whereas a woman, we can't. To where
Yeah. Her arraignment was August 21st, 1872. She exhibited no remorse or feelings at the trial. When her date of execution was given to her, she merely replied, "Thank you, sir." She proclaimed her innocence from jail to anyone and everyone who would visit her. She stated her only crime was that she was guilty of bigamy because her third husband, the only living husband, was still alive when she married her fourth husband. Yeah.
If he ran, he was very, very smart.
He was lucky. He was very lucky.
Very, yeah.
So on Saturday night, the night before hanging, or on Sunday night, the night before hanging, sorry, she retired about 10:30 in her cell, like she went to her inner smoking jacket.
Like, no big deal,
Retired.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah. The woman I know, it's crazy, isn't it? The woman in charge reported that she slept tolerably until about 4 a.m. because they have a watch on him, obviously, before execution, because they don't want them to take themselves out before the execution.
Right.
They want it. Well, I mean, think about it. So the prison system's charged with keeping them safe until that moment. So she arose, like I said, she only took a cup of tea. And then they said she took a cup of tea as a slight physical support through the terrible ordeal through which within the next 3 hours she had to pass. I love the writing. I know. So about 6 a.m., the reverends came in and they said they were admitted to the Gaol. And I've seen this a lot, that in England, they call it the Gaol. It's a jail or the prison, Gaol. They proceeded to her cell. They prayed. Then she prayed for the female wardens, for her friends, for her spiritual advisors. 10 minutes to 8 a.m., the tolling of the death bell was heard in her room. Shortly after 7 o'clock that morning, the reporters, whose unpleasant duty it was to witness the infliction of the death punishment upon the condemned culprit, assembled in front of the prison gates. As she left her cell for the hangman's noose, she stated, "Heaven is my home." It is stated that she continually prayed and muttered on the way up the steps to the courtyard. When she arrived at the courtyard, the reporters and the public parted, and she opened her hands and said, "Lord, have mercy," and seemed amused at the crowd. They said, this newspaper reporter said, she dragged her unwilling limbs by the sheer strength of will, and once or twice appeared to break down altogether. She wore the coarse black and white check shawl and scanty black skirt in which she appeared upon her trial. Her head was bare, and her long black hair fell loose around her face. When the prisoner and her guard had moved past, the press were marshaled in order behind and followed the procession. The miserable creature flinched visibly when suddenly brought face to face with death. And they had to support her lightly at each elbow to assist her up to the noose. The guard slipped a white cap over her head and face and then put the noose around her neck. The guard then manacled her ankles together. And I don't know what they shackled her ankles together, and I haven't heard this done in the other cases that we've discussed, so I don't know.
I wonder why.
I don't know. They said then the guard stepped to the side planks within a couple of feet of the doomed woman, and instantly afterwards the assistant pulled the lever and the drop fell. The jerk was terrific, and the victim of the law spun around and twisted from side to side in a horrible manner. The guard actually had to take hold of her shoulder and held her steady so she'd quit swinging.
Just a swinging.
Just a swinging. Just a swinging. The undersheriff actually fainted. It was so bad. It was so bad. Mary Ann Cotton had paid the full penalty exacted by English law for whatever crime she committed. So, this is interesting to me. After her execution, children in town would skip to this rhyme. Get ready for this. Mary Ann Cotton, she's dead and she's rotten. She lies in her grave with her mouth wide open. Sing, sing, what shall we sing? Mary Ann Cotton was hung on a string. Good! It's like, wow!
mean, in innocence, all of our nursery rhymes come from,
They're bad. They're real
they
bad. All of
are.
our nursery rhymes, but like they immediately
But
started. Apparently, this isn't a
the kids
newspaper,
are
guys.
just
I'm not
like,
going to
do
get
do
that.
do.
Yes,
Like she
they
was just a
do.
swinging.
Just a swinging. So what happened to her baby? Because remember, she was pregnant. So
Yeah.
she did have the baby. The baby was named Margaret, and she was born January 7th, 1873. She was given to a couple named Sarah and William Edwards a few days before Mary's execution, so she was able to nurse the baby for a few days. They changed her name to their surname, and at age 17, she married a man named Joseph Fletcher, who was a minor. They had a daughter in 1892 named Clara, and I love that name, Clara. And
I
in
do too. It's pretty.
1893, yeah, they sailed to New York from England. They had a son named William in New York, and then she was pregnant with child number 3 when Joseph was killed crossing a railroad track. She sailed back to England in 1894, where she gave birth to John Joseph. And after her father died, she went and moved in with her father. So she lived with her father with her children. When her father died, she and the children moved back to the United States. And when World War I broke out, her 2 oldest sons went to war. The oldest son died at the Battle of Messines in 1972. I'm not sure if I'm saying that wrong. Her second son was seriously injured and died in a field hospital November 4th. Yeah, Margaret died at age 70 or 81, so she lived a pretty good life.
That's good.
Although, yeah, on August 19th, 1954, 2 of her children, Clara and Robinson, outlived her and have descendants, and that is wonderful. And to
Yeah.
all of the people in this woman's wake, I hope they rest in peace, because this one was a doozy.
Yeah. I don't understand mothers. I don't understand how a mother
Mm-mm.
can, to their own child.
Oh, um, oh, there's a little tidbit that I just scrolled to and I didn't even see it. I forgot about this. So the serial killer, Mary, she is still seen in the home where she was arrested. People see glimpses of her still to this day.
I wonder if there wasn't like some kind of mental illness or something.
Has to be. How can you?
Yeah.
Arsenic is not an easy death. It's not like, I mean, forgive me, but I mean, no
No.
death is good, but shooting somebody and killing them instantly, arsenic is a
Compared to
very
poisoning them.
torturous, horrible stomach cramps. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a horrible death. And
Yeah.
yeah, how many? 20? How many? They said that she did 20 something people. They got her on
Up to 25 that they,
20, yeah, 25, and they think there's a lot more.
I mean, and I'm like, how? Like, how did you
She
get
kept
away
moving.
with this? Like, I
She
mean,
kept
other
moving.
than that, she kept moving and she was like a black widow because she
Mhm.
would just go marry the next one, have a kid. And it seems like it was all for money.
So she killed all of her children and all of her husband's children. She got them all. I mean, and come on. That's
I mean,
no. I
I
mean,
can
what's the odds
understand.
on that happen naturally? You would think
Yeah.
somebody would go, wait a minute, you
I'm like,
know?
even with her first husband and the 5 kids, I'm like, okay, how is not anybody clicking that? Like, okay, damn, you just must have the most crappiest luck
Right.
that all 5 of your children have passed away without
Well,
having a thought, like, okay, wait, something might be going on here. This
and she might
isn't
not have said
normal.
anything until people started digging through the case. Newspaper reporters or detectives. She may never, as she moved, she may never have even said she was married before. I mean, Robert was still alive. She didn't kill him until he was 10. And so, back in this time frame, she may have told him, keep your mouth shut or you're gone.
I'll do to you like I did the rest.
And so he was
And then she
probably
ended up doing it
terrified of her.
anyways. Like that's
Yeah,
just so disgusting. Like
it is.
I just I don't understand, especially when it comes to a mother, how you can do that to your own child. And we've seen it so much lately.
Oh,
Like
okay. So we
I
have
don't get
Lori Ann
it.
Vallow,
Hmm.
sorry, I was thinking Marianne Cotton, Lori Vallow, Daybell, and then that woman in Utah. We don't know what she's done with her kids. She just took off, all part of this whole LDS thing down there. Some kind of
Yeah.
offshoot, or some kind of end times that they believe in, because Lori Vallow Daybell believed in that too.
Yep.
Yeah, and so this woman just took off with her kids, and they think she's somewhere in Europe, but they don't know. I mean, she flew to Amsterdam with them, but from there they've lost her. And I saw an interview with that poor man, and he's like, I can't even think about the Daybell case right now. I can't think about it because he doesn't want to, like, oh my God, I'll just go crazy if I think about what's she doing to my kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of weirdness, and then the day, yeah, the Daybell
The
who
which one?
they
Sorry.
Chad Daybell's nephew down in Logan. I think that
Oh
one was out.
yeah.
Yeah, just their baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just, I'm sorry, but I don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
I
The
really
new
don't
cases
either. And I
really bother me. I don't. The older cases don't. I guess because they're so old. The new cases because we're living through it. We're watching it in the media, and it's like, oh my
and
God.
and that's it. Like the only way to find out about the old ones is if like you went to their like newspaper or whatever, because not everybody had access to all that. And now,
And
I
not
mean, you
everybody
turn on
read.
anything. Yes. And now you turn on
So,
anything and it's
yeah,
every day. Every day it's something. And I don't know. I could not do it. I mean, if I had to defend myself, most definitely, if it become between you and my children and me,
right.
but to just go out there and do it, and especially to my own kids, no. Like I
Yep,
don't understand why people's minds. I don't
I
know.
know.
The
So
it's
this
different.
was Marianne Cotton. This was at the time. I don't know. I'd have to go back now and look and see. She was England's most notorious serial killer. I don't know if they've had anybody top that. So hope not.
I hope not.
You
I
know,
mean, that's pretty
I mean, we do
extreme.
crime that
20.
I don't want it to happen. We just report on
No.
it that it's happened. So I don't know though. I know the one. We'll have to look up this case, and some of our viewers probably know it. I think it was Russia. That guy in Russia was. Ooh, there was many, many, many more than that.
I
Yeah.
well,
Hmm.
I think what's crazy to me is the women. That's what's crazy to me. Is
Well, I think anybody. I think yeah. I mean, it's hard. Women with your own children, especially. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for
Yes, thank
this
you.
episode, and we'll come at you next week with another one. Maybe Trista, at that point, you'll have the first part of your
I
case
will have
done.
it ready, guys.
All
I will
right,
have it ready.
and it's a doozy, guys. That one is a doozy. So, and it's more recent. It's pretty recent as time
Yeah.
frames goes. So,
And it's
um,
crazy because it's actually a family tie. So it's kind
yeah,
of weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Signing
Thanks.
off.
Bye, guys.